Right. Greetings. This is Kristine Michelle Bundy on Gibson County. And so I guess we still kind of have a delay. I'm working on trying to figure out that was supposed to be set up in this process here. Hopefully that should end up working itself out. Let's see. There was a okay, technology, working through that. Okay, so let's go ahead and get things started. We want to start with the Bivens decision. All right. This meeting is private. Bearing false witness, misrepresentation, and posting inflammatory rhetoric in public forums is forbidden and shall be addressed in an appropriate manner. To eliminate all conflicts and false allegations, is there anyone in attendance at today's meeting that is a member or agent of any law enforcement agency or public agency of the federal, state, county, city, or township agencies present? If so, please post your response in the chat. You're not required to leave the call unless you do not behave yourself accordingly, but it is about presenting yourself up front. But do also let us know which county on Indiana you currently call home. All right. Is there any response to the Bivens decision for the first time? Hearing none. Seeing none in chats. I'm working to catch all of this up. I'm thinking it's supposed to be showing. I wasn't able to work with locals. Okay, let's finish this first. So is there any response to the Bivens decision for the second time? Hearing and seeing none in the comments. And for the third and final time, any response to the Bivens decision? Hearing none. Furthermore, any who are here under false pretenses, anyone who is working for any foreign government, including the territorial United States or municipal United States, anyone who is being paid or coerced to be here, must fully disclose their presence and purpose now or leave the premises or call. All right, so let's go ahead and we shall move forward here. Let's see. Okay. All right, so we're going to be starting a deep dive into the Declaration of Independence, and I really hope everything should be at least. I'm seeing on YouTube, it's got the lag. Rumble is still not connecting. I don't know why that would be. Let's see. Because all of that is in there. Hopefully maybe that'll help. Alright, let's see. So, I was not able to get locals yet because it wants the virtual camera, so I'm not sure it's going to be able to do display either. So we'll see how that goes. All right. So, not sure how this is. Again, this is all technology. We're working on it one way or another. I guess you'll have to find your way to something here at some point. I should be able to, let's see. No, it's saying that I'm in the live stream. Nope, it's saying waiting for live stream. Shouldn't I be able to? Oh, are you going to be on the time delay with me here? That's not going to be good. That should have All right, we'll see. That should be able to. We should be able to see it. I don't know what the deal is. Okay, so I've made sure that Rumble has the paid service. We've made sure that there's enough followers on Rumble. Not sure why that isn't connecting, or if it is, I'm not seeing it from my side. So if you are on Rumble and you're able to see more than just the intro, maybe you can pop over to YouTube and comment in the chat or something. I'm not exactly sure, but I am showing that I am on YouTube. Let's see. There was a way I could put the chat in here. Well, so I don't have to keep... Anyway, keep going. All right, so we're starting the deep dive with Brent Allen Winters' Common Law. He's got the 1776 Declaration. I'll pull it up here so you can be able to see it as well. He has a book and a study guide, and I will screen share that. There's one that says display. There we go. All right. So here is Brent Allen Winters. You can get the actual hard print book, or you can get an ebook. There's also a study guide. For the assembly, I have the ebook and the study guide so that I can be able to display it here for us. So, train. It is Indiana, and it is a rainy day, so but we'll keep things going here. So let's stop that. I'll go ahead and pull up. We're going to start with the reading, and then we'll go through the questions on the study guide. All right. And screen display. All right, make this a little bit bigger. All right, so Declaration of 1776, and we're going to be going through to the end of page 10 for this, that's the goal, is to get through to page 10 on through this, and then answering the study guides that come with it. Okay. To that one wanting the guts to learn and accept, enjoy, and keep his God-given freedoms. The United States Constitution and Declaration of 76, a common lawyer comments. And here is... which you'll notice, Brent Allen Winters is on Terre Haute, Indiana. So you would, although not directly supporting the assembly, you would be supporting an Indianian. All right, and here are the table of contents for it, and we'll go ahead and get going. And we'll just as this call, not today's call, but each call on Wednesday, we'll just keep going through it. All right, why the United States became its own country. In 1842, a young lawyer set about to find the power that stirred the underfed and ill-fitted American militiamen to dare the odds with their lives against the world's best fed, best equipped, and best trained military forces. British regulars and German Hessians. Thus, he sought out and questioned 91-year-old Captain Levi Preston, veteran of the historic battle at Concord. "Did you take up arms against intolerable oppressions?" he asked. "Oppressions?" relied the old militiaman. "I didn't feel them." "What? Were you not oppressed by the Stamp Act? I never saw one of those stamps. I'm certain I never paid a penny for one. Well, what about the tea tax? Tea tax? I never drank a drop of the stuff. The boys threw it all overboard. Then I suppose you had been reading Harrington or Sidney and Locke about the eternal principles of liberty. Never heard of them. We read only the Bible, the Catechism, Watts' Psalms and Hymns, and the Almanac. What then was the matter? And what did you mean going to the fight? Young man, what we meant in going for those redcoats was this. We had always governed ourselves, and we always meant to. They didn't mean that we should. For Captain Preston and his fellow British Americans, self-government meant that each person govern his own thoughts, words, and actions. And as the old captain revealed, such love for self-government grew from an education for freemanship, which shows itself in two books. One, unwritten, and the other, written. The unwritten volume, The Laws of Nature, Blackstone calls general revelation because it shows us the Creator's ordering of power in nature, signs, and seasons. The laws of nature needful for living this life on earth. The written volume, the Bible, Blackstone calls special revelation because it's more personal, revealing nature's God with his stirring words of life. The Almanac, with its yearly reckonings of Creator's signs and seasons, was Captain Preston's friend to the unwritten laws of nature. The Catechism and Watts' Psalms and Hymns were his friends to the Bible. These two grand volumes, the one unwritten and general for all, the other written and special to that person wanting to know more, reveal the laws of nature and of nature's God, also called the common law. Captain Preston's trusted standard, stirring him to defend to the end his God-given rights and duties to self-governance. Our country never arose from any whole new idea for law and government. As did the framers of Magna Carta, our forebears sought to return the ancient common law principles and did. Thus, our war for separation from Britain was no revolt against authority, but was rather British Americans' demand that those in power respect common law authority, the laws of nature's God. The colonists were determined to keep and enjoy the freedoms and benefits of their common law government in the New World. In fact, says Churchill, the colonies' 18th century war with Britain was the Puritans' 17th century war, and the Royalists continued in the New World, where children of Puritans and Royalists joined to resist the king and his cronies' attempts to replace common law freedoms with a far-off imperial will. Common law limits kingship, civil law does not. Thus, in common law England, the king had limits, but in his colonial empire, he was emperor. Our forebears settled the question by battle in favor of the common law. To be sure, the world's few common law countries have many times defended by battle their common law freedoms. The United States, however, is the only common law country in that Providence has delivered fresh to nationhood from the birth pangs of battle. Now, Brent references down here. It's hard for us to appreciate the utter shock of the British at their defeat. They were beside themselves. Their world had flipped upside down. General Cornwallis, forced to surrender at Yorktown, confused and embarrassed, refused to show himself, while his men laid down their arms, during which he ordered his regimental band to play the then familiar pop tune, "The World Turned Upside Down." As the band played, the lyrics no doubt danced in the heads of those present. If buttercups chased after the bee, if ships were on land and churches at sea, if mamas sold their babies to gypsies for half a crown, the world would be turned upside down. The arm of British power in America, says Yorktown veteran Sergeant Joseph Plum Martin, was dislocated by the capture of Lord Cornwallis and his myrmidons. Martin's reference to the myrmidons, Greek term there, gives a glimpse into the conviction of the young rank-and-file American continental soldier and why he fought. Myrmidon is the tribal name of the Thessalian Greek warriors who fought under King Achilles at Troy. The word Myrmidon early came to signify those subordinates in the Greek city-states and the other civil law states who executed orders without thought or question, protest, or pity, used today of robots and hired killers, i.e., and that kill on command. Okay. Our declaration lists the train of overt acts. Overt acts are abuses and usurpations, proving King George's conspiracy with England's central bank money cartel and offshoot trading monopolies to replace common law courts and government with civil laws, international, admiralty, and martial law. Rule by distant decree, searches without warrant, tribunals without due process, and criminal convictions. Without jury, the same abuses and usurpations now afoot in the United States. Today, much as then, dependents of the powers that be displace our common law government with civil law under its many labels. Countless government-dominant corporations, untold agencies, swarms of bureaucrats, codes of countless rules, executive orders and decrees, warrantless searches and seizures, administrative and foreign tribunals, all without due process or trial by jury, now form a long train of abuses and usurpations, pursuing invariably the same object, and evinces a design to reduce these states under absolute despotism. Today, as then, the common law tradition is our shield and sword against all such devices of domination, and the means by which the laws of nature's God keep freedom, but only if you learn to know them. As the bow and fiddle are necessary to fiddle music, our Declaration and Constitution are needful to your freedoms. Even so, freedom is not in those documents any more than music is in the bow and fiddle. Simply put, just as the music is in the fiddler, so also freedom is in the man. Just as the fiddler is free to make his music only as far as he knows his bow and fiddle, likewise, you're free to live your freedoms only as far as you know your Declaration and Constitution. Our Constitution arranges the bones forming our government, says the Supreme Court in the language of the common law. Our Declaration breathes the spirit of common law into our Constitution, moistening its marrow, awakening its frame. Without our Declaration, our Constitution remains a dry and dispirited skeleton of words. All right, Declaration of 1776. The reason for our Declaration is the king and his cronies' refusal to honor our common law in the British American colonies. The common law is the lifeblood and backbone of our Declaration and Constitution. These two documents, taken together, form the best brief of common law government ever penned, and a solid foundation upon which to build a true understanding of freedom, possible only according to the course of the common law. Comment. Though called the Declaration of Independence, nowhere does our Declaration use that phrase. In fact, to call this document the Declaration of Independence gives the false impression that we have declared ourselves independent of everyone. We have not. Instead, our Declaration declares our shifting of reliance by shifting our association, loyalty, and trust. First, we declared our shift of association from Britain, freedom of disassociation to associating as States United. A fellowship of secession from Britain's empire, joining forces in common defense, freedom of association. Second, we declared our shift of loyalty from Britain. These colonies are absolved from all allegiance to the British Crown, to the lowercase United Uppercase States. The signers stating for evidence, we mutually pledge to each other our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor. Third, we declared our shift of reliance upon Britain for protection to reliance upon the God of Providence, the final paragraph declaring in whom we trust. Appealing to the supreme judge of our world for the rectitude of our intentions, and for support of this declaration with a firm reliance on the protection of divine providence. At bottom, our declaration never declares our independence, but our shift of dependence for protection from Britain to divine providence. Our declaration then goes further, giving the facts justifying our secession from Britain's empire. In a word, king and parliament, through bureaucrats using dominating devices of civil law, admiralty, administrative, canon, and martial law, were scheming to keep British American colonists from enjoying their common law freedoms. The colonists knew that England called her land free soil because the common law applied to anyone whose foot touched it. In fact, Magna Carta's phrase, law of the land, meaning common law due process, was so called because it, they said, was innate only in the soil or land of their British island home. England, however, never deemed the soil of her colonies as blessed. British Americans disagreed, laying claim at Concord and Lexington, for instance, to their common law right to keep and bear arms. Our declaration is no scholar's drivel, but puts to paper American convictions, then on the anvil of trial by battle being tested in throes of war. The first and last paragraphs of our declaration together follow Isaiah 33:22, acknowledging God to be the spring and holder of the three powers of government, legislator of his laws, the laws of nature and of nature's God, enforcer of his laws with a firm reliance on the protection of divine providence, and judge of his laws, the supreme judge of the world. Accepting the Godhead, both Scripture and the common law forbid that these three powers ever be gathered into the hands of any single will of mere men, whether of one man or any bevy of men. Example, a legislature, trading monopoly, banking cartel, or bureaucracy. The just reason for independence of one country from domination by another is to secure personal individual freedom. In fact, freedom at bottom is never a group or corporate right. True rights are an individual matter. Even freedom of association to associate or disassociate with a group of others is an individual right. In sum, our founders sought independency from men and dependency upon God, that they each would be free to choose and obey the duties of conscience their freedoms demanded. The rights of conscience are, indeed, beyond the just reach of any human power. They are given by God and cannot be encroached upon by human authority without criminal disobedience of the precepts of natural, nature's unwritten law, as well as revealed religion, scripture. And that's from Justice Joseph Story. In our American plantations, the common law has no authority. This is from Blackstone, 1765. Resolved that their respective colonies are entitled to the common law of England, and more especially to the great and inestimable privilege of being tried by their peers of the vicinage according to the course of that law. And that's from the First Continental Congress, the 14th of October, 1774. Okay, I'm stopping here with that reading from the text here. Now I'm going to go into the study guide, and we're just going to go through, because this was all the intro portion. All right, so if you do end up supporting Brent in his work, I'm sure he would greatly appreciate that. All right, so let me get this where we can do a comparison of the two. Let's get to here. Let's working out a side by side here so it can show in the display screen. All right, let me get this here. Oops. The windows don't always want to work together. Okay, so let's see how this, let me see if I can get this all in the display well for you. All right. Beautiful. Okay. So, with the study guide, all right, so there is a typo here, because as you can see in the text, it has 1842 here in the text, but here it has 1812. So that's an error in here. Okay. So, in 1812 here, but 1842 in the text, it says, a young lawyer set about to find the power that stirred the underfed and ill-fitted American militiamen to dare the odds with their lives against the world's best fed, best equipped, and best trained military forces. This is the British regulars and the German Hessians. Okay? British regulars and German Hessians. Number 2, for Captain Preston and his fellow British Americans, self-government meant that each person, so we'll go past here. Here we go. For Captain Preston and his fellow British Americans, self-government meant that each person govern his own thoughts, words, and actions. Right? Okay, number 3. And as the old captain revealed, such love for self-government grew from an education for freemanship, which shows itself in 2 books, one unwritten and the other written. So freemanship, education for freemanship. Okay. All right. The unwritten volume, The Laws of Nature, Blackstone calls general revelation because it shows us who the Creator's order of power in nature. The Creator's order of power in nature. Signs and seasons, the laws of nature needful for living this life on earth. Number 5, the written volume, the Bible. Blackstone calls special revelation because it's more personal. Why? It reveals nature's God with his stirring words of life. Revealing nature's God. All right. Then we have okay, so number 6, the colonists. The colonists were determined to keep, let's see, I'm finding it in here. The colonists were determined to keep and enjoy the freedoms and benefits of their common law government in the New World. Number 7, our declaration lists the train of overt acts. What are the train of overt acts? Abuses and usurpations. Proving King George's conspiracy with England's central bank money cartel. Aren't we currently in the same situation? What part makes you think any of this that's going on is any different than what was going on at that time? And at what point in time do you step up as a militiaman or woman like at that time? Obviously, we're not going to go there. All right. Number 8, today, as then, the common law tradition is our shield and sword. Shield and sword against all such devices of domination. Devices of domination. So there's our shield and sword against all such devices of domination. All right, so now we'll get into this intro part here. So, Declaration of 1776. So, first, we declared our shift of association from Britain, freedom of disassociation, to associating as states united. A fellowship of secession from Britain's empire, joining forces in common defense, the freedom of association. Our common defense is our freedom of association. So you gotta figure out who you're associating with, right? Because that's what you'll be held to. If you're associating with criminals, liars, thieves, rapists, murderers, U.S. citizens, all in that, then that's what you'll have. But we have the freedom to be able to decide who we want to associate with. Second, we declared our shift of loyalty from Britain. These colonies are absolved from all allegiance to the British Crown, to the United States. The signer stating evidence, we mutually pledge each other our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor. All right. Third, We declared our shift of reliance upon Britain for protection. So before it was on Britain for protection. To reliance upon the God of providence. Okay. Third, we declared our shift of reliance upon Britain for protection to reliance upon the God of providence. The God of providence. The final paragraph, declaring in whom we trust, appealing to the supreme judge of the world for the rectitude of our intentions and for support of this declaration with a firm reliance. A firm reliance. Not a iffy, a firm reliance on the protection of divine providence. All right, number 4 for this section. England, however, never deemed, here we have it here, let's see, in this, here we go. England, however, never deemed the soil, never deemed the soil of her colonies as blessed. Did you catch that? England never deemed the soil as blessed for the colonies. Number 5, the first and last paragraphs of our declaration together follow Isaiah 33:22, acknowledging God to be the spring and holder of the 3 powers of government. Legislature of his laws, that's the laws of nature and of nature's God. Enforcer of his laws, with a firm reliance on the protection of divine providence. And judge of his laws, the supreme judge of the world. Okay. Last one for this segment in this call. Accepting the Godhead, both Scripture and the common law forbid that these 3 powers ever be gathered into the hands of any single will of mere men. All right, so that is the end of the reading and study guide for today's call. Let me get the camera back up here. So that's the reading and study guide for today's call. Again, the link here to be able to get the book, you can get the PDF as you see and the study guide, and support Brett in all of the great work that he has been doing. And please don't be cheap. It's worth giving the donation. All right. Okay, so let's get the last few things here because we got to have a few things. All right, so we got, we're going to, let's see, got all these little things going on. Okay, so we've got, here's Rumble Locals YouTube. Now remember, Locals only will do this camera, so I'm going to have to do something different, use Locals in a different way to be able to do live. So, because I'm not going to be able to share anything, that sort of thing. Okay, so we have to figure out how that is. Rumble, I'm hoping it finally caught up with what was the play. I'm not sure. But anyway, I'll upload the video to all of the places. So we'll get that in All right. And then if you wanted a consult, free consult with me, here is the link for the consult. I think that's everything for now. We'll go back to the assembly links. All right. So I want to thank you all, and we're getting this going. We're figuring this out one way or another. So again, it's technology. So I wish you all peace and love. Have a great and awesome day.